day, you got the job done. And you get the job done, you get the belt, you get to hold up the belt. And again, out to Manny Pacquiao getting the job done. So also from this weekend, we had a UFC match. And I'm bringing this up. This was UFC San Antonio. Because there's a former NFL player that we know that is now in the UFC. He doesn't have the best of reputations with women, with his off-the-field situations. But Greg Hardy beats a guy, Juan Adams. Not only did he beat this guy, but he punished this guy in 48 seconds. So another question. I'm asking questions today. I'm asking for your feedback. If you're listening after the show's over, you can send me a message on Twitter at BS3 Sports, any avenue of social media, or you can just put it in this chat room here, whatever it may be. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Shout out to Denise Milk and Cookies in the building. Thank you for tuning in. So, do you guys think Greg Hardy has a true career in the UFC? He is undefeated. Besides, he had a disqualification for kneeing a guy. But if there was anyone that could possibly have a career with the aggression that he allegedly has towards the wrong race, that he has towards women that he should not have, he's using that against men now at this point in time in his career. But I think he maybe could have a potential career. Now, he is not going to beat John Bones Jones, which is at the top of everything there. But there is a possibility he can make some noise. He can make some good money. You know, this is the second half of his career. First half was the NFL, which got cut short because of issues of his own causing. But now he's in the UFC. I'm very interested to see what happens from here. He beat a guy, like I said, Juan Adams. Don't know exactly what Juan Adams has done in the UFC, but I do know as of today, he got knocked out. I do know that part of it. And it was very, very quick. It was quick. It was in a hurry. Like when people die, they say it was painless. This was pretty much painless because it happened in 45 seconds. Also, there's a guy that I want you guys to watch out for if you are or are not a UFC fan. This guy, Leon Edwards, he's undefeated, or he's been on like an 8-fight winning streak. He beat Rafael Dos Anjos for his 8th straight win. He was calling out Jorge Masvidal, who is I believe he's the current champ, or he's one of the top fighters. But watch out for this guy. Shout out to JB Jennings in the building. He wants to fight the top competition. And that is, hey, look, let me say this. That is one thing I will say about the UFC. If you like it or don't like it, they will get the top fights on the cards. Boxing is another story because there is a lot of people involved. There's a lot of hands in the pot. There's promoters. There's the boxers. There's people's managers, agents, all that kind of stuff. But the UFC does everything possible to get that best fight on the card. You got to respect that. Greg Hardy can make a career in UFC as a lower level fighter. Fight definitely should have been unanimous after Pac-Man won the 10th round. So Leon Edwards, keep that name in your mind. He is from Jamaica, but actually he grew up in Britain, Great Britain. So I like the kid. I think he's got a shot to make some noise. All right, let's go to some NFL news, NBA news, from the weekend. There's a guy, R.C. Buford. If you haven't heard that name before, he has been in the GM role with the Spurs for over 15 years. Well, he is deciding, shout out to my man, Orlando presents Rep Your City Praise Radio. Appreciate you for coming through. He is the co-owner and founder of Rapture Ready Radio, where you can also hear the show. So shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. R.C. Buford member of the Spurs organization for the past 15 years, is stepping down. He is giving the GM role to a guy by the name of, I thought I had it in my notes, I think his name is Brian Wright. That's going to be taking over. That's huge. That's huge right there. Because he has been the orchestrator of a lot of these players that have come through this organization. If you go back 15 years, that includes Tim Duncan, that includes Ginobili, that includes Kawhi. But one point you could say is this new guy coming in was instrumental in orchestrating the Kawhi trade, which they got DeRozan. I don't know if they got the picks in that trade. And Kawhi won a championship with Toronto. So, and the Spurs haven't won anything. So I don't know if you could really use that example as a win-win type situation for your organization. But this guy's going to be stepping in as the new GM. We'll see what happens. The Spurs are still going to be a good team for one major reason. They still have Pop on that as the coach. They have Pop as the coach. Pop continues to show that he is the man. We'll see if they win anything, but he still shows that he's a man. So we'll see what happens there with the Spurs as they're going to be under new general management. Lakers pick up an Antetokounmpo. No, it's not Giannis, but it is Kostas Antetokounmpo off waivers from the Mavericks. So it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to pick this kid up. I mean, you don't know. You don't know what you have. Maybe give him an opportunity to play. You see what happens. You have nothing to lose here. You give him a two-way contract. You have absolutely nothing to lose. How much playing time is he truly going to get? Probably not that much with the star power they have on this roster. So, but they do have an Antetokounmpo on the squad. Also, CP3 hopes to help his peers better manage their finances. And shout out to CP3. If a lot of people were him, you would be upset right now. You're a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder that is rebuilding. You were shipped away from a team that almost made it to the NBA Finals for numerous years. You have to be just a tad bit upset if you are him. But I respect what he's doing, and I think that's powerful. We're not talking about what they're doing just right now and, them being a better basketball player. It's also about them being better managers of their money, because that is huge. If you can manage your money, and a lot of times it's not about how much money you make. It's about how you manage what you have. That is a lot of the times what it's about. It's not about how you make. The time you don't need to make more money. It would be great to make more money, but in a lot of instances, it's how you manage your money. So shout out to CP3 doing this. RC Buford was a big influence and impact for the Spurs, winning all those championships. Maybe CP3 has accepted that he may actually stay in OKC. I think he has to. Fortunately, I think he has to consider that, because at the current state of your career and the amount of money that you're making, there is not going to be tons of people flocking towards wanting to trade for you. There may be some teams. There's probably potentially a couple of teams. But how many teams are truly in on let's bring on this guy at this age to be the point guard of starting point guard of our team? The other important factor is who has the money. And we all know there's only a limited amount of teams that have the money to withstand how much he's going to be getting paid next year. But I got respect for CP3 and what he's doing with the players, helping them better manage their money. That's being a leader. That's being a leader. Shout out to H-Rap B in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Big L in the building as well. Thank you for tuning in. I like the way Greg Harden is making a second half, or Greg Hardy making a second half adjustment in life. A lot of NFL players went into wrestling and show business. Good point. Dropping nuggets right there. Appreciate that. Good point. All right, so other NBA news. We got a couple of breaking news stories right now as I'm talking. Number one, the Wizards are expected to offer a max deal to Bradley Beal. 3 years, $111 million max extension, becoming eligible to sign on Friday. I think he will sign it. Obviously, he has not gotten traded. I don't know if he will get traded, so you can factor that in. Also, Cam Reddish, the Hawks' first-round pick, signs a multi-year deal with Nike. Big ups to Cam Reddish. I want to see this kid be successful. I want to see the Hawks be successful. Obviously, you know me. You know me. I'm not a Hawks fan, but I do want to see them better. Shout out to, and Mochi's just put that in the chat room as well. Shout out to Chief Rocka in the building. Thank you for tuning in. I was listening into the show, listening while working. That's what I do during the week most of the time. So I think Bradley Beal is going to sign this contract, though. I think he is. And like I said, I'm happy for Cam Reddish. I want to see these young kids be successful in every area of their lives, not just on the court, but off the court. And CB3 is there to help them manage their money. What more can you ask for a guy that's been in the league than to help the young guys coming up? So if you remember this story going into NFL, you remember this story, I think it was last week or the week before. Kendall, I think his name was Kendall or Kendrick Norton, lost his arm. He walked out of the hospital. If you guys seen that video, he walked out of the hospital. His arm has been amputated. I think it's like from the elbow or so down. He has been released by the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have said that they will pay. I don't know if they'll pay his contract, but it says they will pay Norton, and that's a stand-up thing to do. This was an accident. Nobody causes an accident like this to happen. Nobody wants their arm to be amputated. So big ups to the Dolphins organization for, I think, doing the right thing. For doing the right thing. Another breaking news story, NFL-wise. Jarran Reed reportedly disciplined for a 2017 incident. He's a member of the Seattle Seahawks. He's going to be suspended 6 games. That's 2017. We're in 2019 now. Shouldn't there be a statute of limitations in the NFL? Shouldn't there be? That's like 2 years ago now we're talking about. But he's going to be suspended 6 games. Any Seahawks fans out there, you won't have Jarran Reed for the first 6 games. Also, there's been some announcements of players starting on the PUP list. Sony Michel, I believe, starting on the PUP list. Julian Edelman's going to be sidelined for 3 weeks. He won't be ready for the start of training camp. So you're going to have some guys that are going to be out. No surprise there. Breaking news from Kevin, Clutch Talk Sports. Michael Bennett, who's a member of the Falcons, has broke his ankle and is out indefinitely. Wow. That hurts. That hurts right there. That is not good at all. And breaking your ankle, I don't know when he's going to be back. I didn't know he was a member of the Falcons. I just figured that out just now. But unless we're talking about a different Michael Bennett. But he broke his ankle. He's out indefinitely. NFL season's on the way, though, baby. NFL season's on the way. Training camps starting this week. And speaking of training camp, I got to throw my Cowboys in there somewhere. Zeke Elliott will reportedly be forcing the issue even more. If you heard a story last week saying that he was expected to maybe skip training